Hey, shalom, y'all. I just want to get in here because I saw a post by this sis I follow. She goes by, I think her ad is the Boyfriend Chronicle, but she said the idea that you shouldn't have to tell someone how you want to be loved is confusing to me. A person who loves you wants to learn as well as study you, but you shouldn't have to beg because that's different. And I completely agree with that. But when I was looking at it, I was just like, wow, I wonder if people would use this same logic when it comes to understanding how we are to love the Most High. And I put on my notes, it just said, like, study to show yourself approved. Because in her post, she talked about someone who loves you wants to study how to properly love you. And many of us, I feel like we just know that the Father loves us and we don't have to do any actions on our side. But the Most High is the same in the sense of He has told us, He has outlined how He wants to be loved. And so I was thinking about it, I was like, wow, Yahuwah, He has a love language, but are we paying attention? Or do we just, throw things at Him and say, oh, well, this is how I'm going to love you and you're going to have to deal with it, which is very toxic, because a lot of us don't want to learn how to properly honor and love the Father. So I'll put on here the 5 love languages are words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, and quality time and physical touch. So I was thinking, I was like, you know what? The Father's love language, He always talks about, Shema, or hear and do. That's acts of service. That's being obedient. That's doing, right? And then quality time. Because you're never going to know how to love Him unless you spend time with Him, unless we sit down and really study His word so we can understand how to be better children of our Heavenly Father. And so that's quality time. And so, the spirit of learning comes from hearing, which leads to doing and hearing, which can only happen when we sit still with our Father. And that can only happen through spending time with Him and dedicating ourselves to wanting and needing to love Him better. But if we don't have the heart to want to love Him better, then you really don't love Him. And a lot of us say that, we give words of affirmations, we sing praises. Well, those kind of mean nothing if they're not followed up with action. And so I literally put here James 1:22, but prove yourselves doers of the words and not merely hearers who delude themselves. So you can say that, words of affirmation are great, but if you're constantly telling the Father, oh, you're great, oh, you're mighty, oh, I love you, singing your heart out, you get really into it during praise and worship time. But after that time is over, your actions, your quality time, it's not there. And so, biblically speaking, spiritually speaking, your words are vanity. We're being vain worshipers if we're not backing up our words of affirmation with our acts of service, with our quality time in the Father. And those are the kind of gifts that He wants. So, the other love language, is, receiving gifts. Those are the kind of gifts that our Father wants. He wants the gifts that are with our actions. Is He giving you the talent to sing? Yes, use your talent to sing for Him, but use your vessel that He has given you to be obedient to His word. And I was just like, it's so simple, but I feel like sometimes we get so spiritual and just, oh, the Father knows we love Him, but it's void of our everyday actions. It's void of our everyday time that we spend with Him. And He's splitting up His people between vain worshipers and the true worshipers, those who worship Him in spirit and in truth. And even the Messiah, he was like Isaiah was right. He said, y'all people draw nigh to me with your lips, with your words of affirmations, but your heart, your actions, your quality time, it's not there. And so just how we would want someone to properly love us the way that we have asked them to. I told you I want to spend time with you. I love being around you. I love, I love accepting your energy and giving you energy. I love, doing things for you. I love, going to get those things you need when you're sick. And I love when you do that for me. And it's just that reciprocation. It's that respect. It's that honor. And that is that love the Father with all your heart, soul, and mind. The first commandment. And the second one is love your neighbor as yourself. But a lot of us don't know how to even honor the first commandment because we have not taken the time to understand how to love our Heavenly Father, who has given us so much and continues to give us so much. He's always showering us with his gifts, because a lot of us, our love language is receiving gifts. And he understands that. He understands that a lot of us need physical touch. So he blesses us with people in our lives who can feel that who can give us that. He grants us, not grants us, but he blesses us with a spouse, so that we can have that area of physical touch can be acquired, as well as, but all those things happen with your quality time, with your acts of service. And your words of affirmation are just a double bonus. Your praise is so much more honorable and honest when you are doing his will, when you are studying his word and really like, wow, I'm getting into how to properly honor him. I've cut off these things in my life. I stopped celebrating like this, and the Father says he wants me to celebrate him like this, and I love him, so I'm gonna do it because I'm learning and I'm getting closer to him every day. And that is how you build a solid relationship with the Father. And it is the same way that we build solid relationships with people in our lives. It is the same. So we have to take our relationship with our Father in heaven seriously, because if we continue to treat him the way we're treating him, there's going to come a time where that grace is going to be done. So just as, my good sis on Instagram said, a person who loves you wants to learn how to love you as well as study. That same mentality has to be taken when we're learning how and seeking how to love our Heavenly Father. And that's really all I want to come on here and say. I'm challenging everyone. I'm praying that we all have a desire to truly love and honor our Father with all of our heart, soul, and mind, and not just be giving out these blank words of affirmation, because his love language is acts of service and quality time. And then your words of affirmation hold weight. They're not just vain words that we're, throwing because they make us feel good. And so, shalom, y'all, be blessed. And, let this just be, some words of encouragement. Remember, I'm going to quote the scriptures that I use today. James 1:22, prove yourself doers of the word and not merely hearers who delude themselves. And, what's the other one? Mark 12:29. And Yahushua our Messiah answered him, saying that the first of all the commandments is, Hear, O Israel, or Shema, O Israel. For Yahuwah our God is one, and thou shalt love Yahuwah thy God with all their heart, with all thy soul, with all thy mind, with all their strength. That is the first commandment. And the second one, namely, thou shalt love thy neighbor as you love yourself. And there's none commandments greater than these. And so that is how we are to express our love for him. And Yahushua also said, here it goes right here, 1 John 14:23. And Yahushua our Messiah said, if a man says he loves me and keep not my word, and keeps my word, my Father loves him and will come to him and abode with him. But those who do not love me and do not keep my words, and the words that you hear, which are not mine, but are my Father's who sent me. So basically, if you love me, keep my commandments. If you don't love me, you're not going to do it. So again, love language is quality time, acts of service, and then you get your words of affirmation, because you can't just have words of affirmation with no quality time and no acts of service. I'm going to keep repeating that. And he also, Proverbs 7, keep my commandments and live, and that my law is the apple of thine eye, and bind them on your finger and write them on the tablet of your heart. So again, we're constantly hearing this over and over again. And show mercy, Exodus 20, showing mercy to thousands of those who love me and keep my commandments. So how do we love the Father? And are we honestly trying to understand how to love him? Or are we just staying in this same rut of just doing things that make us feel good? And at the end of the day, that's not you loving the Father. That's you being vain and deluding yourself and convincing yourself that you have all the love in the world for our Father, but you won't take the time to understand how to properly love him. But yep, that is it right there. Yah's love for us is greater than any love we could ever imagine, because he said in Isaiah 66:12 Thus says Yahuwah, behold, I extend peace unto her like a river, and the glory of the Gentiles like flowing streams. And ye shall have it, or ye shall suck, and ye shall bore upon her side, and be bounced on her knee, as one who is a mother is comforted, and I will comfort you. And so Yahuwah wants to comfort us. He wants to love us with all the love he has, but he is not going to beg. He's not going to beg us. He is looking for those who are going to study to show themselves approved and who want to honor him via his word, deeply rooted in him and in his spirit. And so that's it. Let's just work on loving him the way he calls us to.